So I finally finished the install on your Electrum Aurora, converting it from Diatium 3 to Proffie with removable chassis. So here's your Aurora in a nice weathered finish. Got an illuminated Neopixel connector in there and a removable chassis. So to access that, just unscrew the pommel. You see you have part of the pommel sticking out with your 28mm small output speaker. So to remove it, just slide it out like so. So here's your removable chassis. Got your Proffie board v2.2 over there. I have it at an angle in the chassis so it's easier to access the USB port as well as access the SD card. We have our kill switch over here. It's marked in kind of Orabesh, on and off. And then we have our chassis connector up here. 4 rails for 3 Neopixel connections as well as the blade detection on the Neopixel connector. We've got our spring contacts, flat receivers on the chassis. So we got 4 here and 3 here. These ones are for interfacing with the LEDs on the clamp card, and the 3 are for interfacing with the 3 touch controls on the clamp. Then we have our battery holder here, marked negative and then positive over there. So let's put a battery in here. So the flat side towards the negative and the button top towards the positive. So just insert it like that and then flip the kill switch on.
Don't try it!
To turn it on. So because I do have this wired for touch controls, we kind of want to be careful not to touch these contacts because if you touch it, it's going to actuate the saber. So to insert the chassis, it can only kind of go in one direction. We want this chassis guide here to line up with the control box because I have the matching pairs for these contacts right underneath the control box. So to insert it, I'm going to line up this guide with the control box along with this cutout over here. Just insert it like so, and you'll start feeling springs or connectors kind of start engaging. And then once you get about here is when everything's kind of fully engaged. We've got the chassis connector engaged with the thin neck, and we've got the contacts engaged with the control box. So like that. I have it at 2000 volume, so it's kind of loud. So to kind of make sure to lock everything in place, just screw the pommel on tightly. Want to make sure the cover protect's aligned with that. So we have our main switch up here, up top, with where the green LEDs are, and then these 2 are auxiliary. So that's auxiliary, and that's also auxiliary. So usually have motion controls enabled, but I don't have it enabled here just because we want to keep this a little bit simpler. So top one's activation. We have our illuminated Neopixel connector in there. So let's put a blade in this thing. So for the Neopixel holder, I did make it a little lower than what Electrum had it. So you can now use the thumb screw as blade retention. So I'm just going to loosen that and then put on my demo blade. So my demo blade is a little bit snug on the saber. So there. So I also have blade detection configured for the Neopixel connector. So whenever you insert the blade, it's going to make a blade insertion sound. And then when you disengage the blade, it's also going to make a blade removal sound. I'm just going to tighten this up. So for the blade styles, we went with a static blade, no flicker, no fancy effects. Smooth swing, floss on cloth, block to block, lightning. SD card does come with 18 to 20 sound fonts. I've only loaded the kind of character canonical sound fonts on there, so
Anakin.
Cycling through that.
I sense so much anger.
This is like a Luke font, or a cartoon Luke font.
Cal Kestis.
It's like a New Hope training probe sound font.
Kenobi.
Yeah, so some of these have prions. You can go through the SD card and remove them if you don't want the prion on it.
I can. Dark Sith.
Like this one is a prion.
I am told it is the lightsaber. I put
It's a corn horn sound font.
General Kenobi.
And back to the Kenobi sound font. So I did include the config file on the SD card. In the config itself, I also have to account for the orientation of the Proffie. So in the config, you'll see something like a define orientation 020. That's to kind of define the orientation of this. Otherwise, the motion tracking is going to be a little off.
Enter volume menu.
Oops. Let me turn that off. So yeah, the define orientation is there to account for the Proffie's angle here at about roughly 20-degree angle upwards. You want to make sure that is in there to make sure that the gesture controls are able to register properly, as well as any movements are able to be tracked properly. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, but I'll try to get this shipped out to you as soon as possible. Thank you.